Have you ever wondered how Gary Vee and Alex Hormozi and all these people get so much content out in their social media in what seems like crazy amounts? All right, I'm going to explain all of that to you and how you can do the same thing with less time and less money. And we're going to dive in. So let's check it out. All right. So my name is Dalton. I am a podcaster, have been for about 3 years. I host a podcast called The Thinking Project, where I interview creatives and business owners to talk about their story and show you how to start your entrepreneurial journey. I've amassed over 500,000 downloads. I've been in the top charts in iTunes in the United States for how to. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. And then on top of all of that, I also help companies produce their podcasts. So today I'm going to go over one reason, the first reason why your company needs to have a podcast and why you need to start it today. So let's dive right in. The first reason that your company or business or personal brand needs a podcast is content. The reality is the success of your paid media, outbound efforts, affiliate marketing programs, and all of your referrals rely heavily on whether or not your target audience can find reasons to trust you, right? Those marketing efforts will pique someone's interest. And what they normally do, what we all do, right, is we do a little bit more research. And if we can find that you've posted, that you've said something in the last few days, if we can watch you and see you in real time, then we have trust, right? Then we've established it. And that's really all we need to do to pass this kind of test with our consumers. So with content marketing, there's good news and there's bad news. So let's start with the bad news. The bad news is that we've been conditioned to think that it takes a lot of time and money, or that we have to spend hours trying to figure out what we're going to do, what content we're going to create, and all the good stuff. The good news is that that's a lie, and I'm going to show you how to do that and what's worked for me, right? So I realize that this may not work for everybody. So if you find a lot of value in this video, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, the like button, all that good stuff, right? So quick note, let's break a myth about content marketing really fast. There's two main purposes of it, and that's lead nurturing and lead generation. So typically, most of us are in the nurturing part where we're posting a couple things a week, maybe a couple things a month, and we're really not getting the most out of what we could do, right? And then there's the lead generation, and both of these can happen simultaneously, but lead generation is where we're consistently posting things, consistently giving value to people, and then they're coming to us and like, hey, I like this. You know, it's kind of Gary V's jab, 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 right hook kind of deal, right? So when you're creating content, like I said, it should be a lot more giving than asking. Maybe ask once or twice a week, but typically you just wouldn't ask. You just like start giving, and then people will, realize you as a leader in the niche that you're in, as a person who knows what's going on, knows what they're talking about, and then they're going to come find you, right? That doesn't mean that you don't ask, because I'm a natural salesperson. And whenever I hear somebody say things like, don't ask or whatever, like it really bugs me. So you're always going to have to ask, but your ask is going to come with a lot more credibility when you have that content behind you that you've been working on. So let's get into how a podcast fits into almost any content marketing strategy, or rather how it can become the base of your content strategy. So you've probably asked yourself, how can I consistently come up with 2 or 3 pieces of content per day without having to come up with new ideas or spend hours a day? So here's how. Find a day at the beginning of the month, sit down, write down the 10 or 15 most frequently asked questions in your niche. So if I was in sales, I would go to maybe some really popular sales YouTube videos, scroll in their comments, look at all of the comments. Because if you go to a really popular YouTube video, maybe like a Grant Cardone or a Gary Vee or Jeb Blunt or somebody like in my sales industry, they've got thousands of comments and nobody goes and responds to those, but you're going to find lots of questions. So I use those as general questions to start, from nowhere, from scratch, essentially, with a podcast. So that's what I do. Go find the questions. If you're in an industry that has like a lot of asked questions, or you've been in business for a while and you get the same questions over and over, write those down, start answering them. Sit down, answer them one by one, write them down, get a co-host, do it on your own, whatever you want to do. And then, like I said, just start answering them. Get in front of a camera like this, get a mic, and then just start rolling and answer your questions. Once you get that all done, you'll go for about 30, 45 minutes, hit the stop button. And now this is where the magic happens. We're going to chop all of that up. From a 30 or 45-minute podcast, you can get 30 to 40 pieces of content. Written, audio, you're going to chop up all of those answers into little bite-sized, snackable pieces of content. You're going to put them on TikTok, Reels, LinkedIn, Facebook, anywhere that has videos, YouTube Shorts. Then you're going to transcribe that whole video into words, and you're going to come up with blogs and articles and tweets and Facebook posts and LinkedIn posts and all that good stuff, right? And so there you go. That's 30 or 40 minutes. All you had to do is record it once and you have content for a month. And not only do you have content for a month, but if you're in the business, right, now you have places to send people when they have questions. You have things and tangible pieces of content that you can give your marketing team or your sales team so that they can start like answering questions and closing deals and getting you highly qualified leads in the pipe. Bonus tip. You can start to build off of those questions and start grabbing more podcast ideas from what you've done, right? So if there's a frequently asked question that you just answered in a real quick minute or two on the podcast, but you want to expound on it, boom, there's another 30-minute podcast. So do you see how this just turns into like an endless content machine? And I used to get so frustrated when like people would, you're learning about marketing and they're saying things like, go to forums and all these things, find out what people are saying, find out what they're talking about. The easiest way to do this is right here. Go to YouTube, find the top 30 videos, go through the comments, find those questions, start answering those questions, right? Some of the best content that you can come up with is the best editing of other people's content or answering other people's questions, right? So there's a hack, by the way. Now that you have all of that, you're ready to go. This is why you need a podcast, right? The first reason your business needs a podcast is content. And right away, you can start generating endless amounts of content. If that helps you, please stick around for the next video. Make sure that you hit that like button. And hey, tune into the podcast. Maybe you might learn something new and like it. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.